A few weeks ago, I was out and about on 2B2T, filming my last video about chicken lag, and I wanted to get some footage of one of the chickenators, a machine that contains literally thousands of chickens. But in the process, I broke a lot of de facto rules of 2B2T, and was straight up being complacent, which ended up in my main account being logout trapped by a crystal PvPer. So how did this happen? How did I get out of this? And what can myself and you learn from this? Well, here's the full story. It all started in the Nether, when I went through a portal that was very close to one of the chickenators in the overworld. But despite there being 2 players in render distance, one of which literally being in the portal with me, I for some reason decided it would still be a good idea to go through. After all, none of them tried to kill me, yet. Regardless, I started digging down to the chickenator, where an AFK account was stationed, and I started getting my video footage of the machine, only until a completely different account started digging down towards me. Yet again, I for some reason didn't make any attempts to escape, as I thought I was fine. Boy was I wrong. As you just saw, I made quite a number of mistakes when being around spawn on 2B2T. First off, never ever go through a portal when there are other players around you that you don't know. You never know if they're gonna follow you. Now let's say that you broke that rule. You could easily have enough time to fly out of render distance with an elytra and be safe. But instead, I dug down because I wanted my video footage of the machine. This was a horrible idea because I would literally have no escape path from the players following me because I'm surrounded by blocks. Even then, I could have had time to maybe dig my way out, but I didn't. Probably the only redeeming factor I had in this situation was having enough totems with an auto totem mod to tell me that I was screwed and that I should log out, as I didn't have any crystal PvP gear or knowledge. Okay, so now the crystal PvPer had my logout spot. Now what? Maybe he'll camp there for an hour or two, get bored, and log off. Right? Yeah, no. 24 hours goes by, and I decided to use my alt to see if someone was still camping me. And surely enough, yes. And it was a different account too. Looks like these guys were literally on a schedule where they would rotate positions for camping my SalC1 account logout spot. I literally couldn't do anything. If I logged into my main, I would be killed instantly. So more days went by, and every time I check, someone was still there. At this point, it has almost been 2 whole weeks. I log onto my alt yet again, check my logout coordinates, and oh my gosh! How and why is someone still here? I had no idea how long this was gonna go, and at this point, I had to make a moral decision. Let them waste their life away camping my logout spot, or make them do the unthinkable. Touch grass. So I thought I should go with the moral route. Operation Touch Grass was initiated. Here was the plan. I first took a world download of my logout spot to understand the layout. At first glance, it wasn't looking good. I was surrounded by obsidian deep underground with no obvious escape path, except for a hole dug directly down to the logout spot, which could be used to fly through to escape with an elytra. But I would have to get through the obsidian trap first, and by then, I probably would have already been killed. I obviously needed some help from some other 2B2T players. This is where 2 very skilled crystal PvPers, the Op Legends and Lana, would come into play. The idea was that they would station themselves just outside of render distance, and would swoop in, down the hole, and either kill or distract the camper while I made my escape. This was also quite risky because what if the camper didn't die, or I somehow missed the hole when trying to fly out? But then, I was reminded about ender pearls. You see, if I set an ender pearl somewhere, before I even got into this mess, someone could load it right after I log on. And luckily, I did have one set at a location very far away, but only one, so there would only be a single chance to make this work. Now that the final plan was in place, we all got into position, and it was a go. The Op Legends and Lana swooped in with no hesitation and started battling the camper. Another player named Dusty was on standby to load my pearl at any moment. After around a minute of PvP, the camper was far enough away from my logout spot, so I logged in.
Load it. Yes, it worked! It worked! Oh my god, it worked! Holy shit! Oh my god!
Yo, get out of there, guys. Get out of there.
Wow! Get out! Okay, fly out! Fly out right where it is. Fly out. Get out of there. Get out of there! The great escape! Yes!
After extremely careful planning and coordination, and with the help of some friends, I escaped the lockout trap. This couldn't have worked out more perfectly. Now before I end it off here, I know you're probably thinking, Sal, why didn't you just take the L on this one and just let them kill you? Well, the answer to that is I didn't want to give them the satisfaction of killing me after waiting all this time. If anything, I wanted to waste their time so they can maybe contemplate their life choices in regards to how many hours they play 2B2T. Rumor has it that some of the players even skipped school just to camp my logout spot. That would be insanity if it were true. But maybe now, after all of this, they can now finally have a good reason to go outside for once and touch the beautiful plants that nature offers us, like grass.